So it's pretty obvious the 4 factors are score the ball, control the ball, rebound the ball, and fouls. Those are the 4 factors.
So early on, and then giving the support.
Of those 4 factors, which one's the most important? Well, how much important is it? It's 40%. Now when you think about the 4 factors, think offense and defense. So it's not just scoring, it's stopping the other team from scoring. So the most important part of the game is around scoring and stopping the other team from scoring. Now, we talked a lot last night about this, and I kind of talked about the big advantage, or the home run. What's the best scores we want to get on offense? Layups, open layups. So what's the biggest thing the defense wants to do? What was the number 1 rule? Protect the basket. That's why it's the number 1 rule in basketball on defense, because you're trying to give up the easiest score. So we always balance it. We try to get the easy score is what we want. We're trying to prevent it on defense. What was the next best thing we could get on offense? Uncontested open shot. That's that person's shot. And eventually a 3, because it's just worth a little more. So then what's the next thing the defense wants to do? What was the second rule? Pressure the ball, because that's what takes away open uncontested shots, is having pressure. Okay, so they fit together. Okay? So that's why we do those things. Very important. Controlling the ball. What's going to be involved in controlling the ball? What would be some of the skills that go into controlling the ball? Taking care of the ball. What would be some of the important skills? Dribbling. That's one. What else? Passing. What else? Excellent. Decision making. What was the thing in the passing drill that I kept calling out last night? On time and on target. When you can pass on time and on target, you probably are showing what? That you have better control of the ball. When you pass off target, there's going to be some dangers. It's a little behind. You now may make that person travel. They may not be able to make good decisions. And when you pass late or early, again, it might get stolen. So learning to be on time on target is part of controlling the ball. Another big one that I would recommend that you girls still have to work on is your space pivoting. Who can describe what a space pivot is? So when that defender gets right up on me, they're parallel to me, I have to get perpendicular and make space. That's a very big one. And still with vision. Rebounding, pretty straightforward. Fouls, it's learning to draw fouls and also avoid fouling. How do you draw fouls? And why is that important? Why is it important to draw fouls? Excellent. If the other team's best, especially their best scorer, gets in foul trouble and has to sit down, is that not a huge advantage for your team? So if you're being guarded by the other team's best scorer and you have a way that can increase the way that you draw fouls, that's a big advantage in basketball. So what would be some of these ways that you can be good at drawing fouls? Where do most fouls occur? Where do most fouls occur? Layups at the rim. So if I can go to the rim in a straight line, I have a pretty good chance of drawing fouls. A lot of us still go around. What defense sometimes like to do is an illusion. They like to make themselves look really big with their arms and legs. And then we go around them. And when we go around, we don't draw any fouls. Today we're going to work on the little drills I call competing, where we're going to actually learn how to compete against someone else's body. And we're going to learn how to draw fouls. Okay, what are some of the things we can do to draw fouls? Okay? In a legal way. We're not talking about cheating to draw fouls. I'm not encouraging dirty basketball or trickery. We're talking about legal things that you can do that will put it more likely that you can draw a foul. Okay? Now, we then have 4 big gears. So again, these are called, you can write this down, these are the 4 pillars. The 4 pillars. P-I-L-L-A-R-S. The 4 pillars. So we have the physical, the mental, the social emotional, and basketball. And then you can see all the little gears are things that go into those. Now let's just look at the physical. It talks about functional movement capacity. This is just how well do you move. And as you get older like me, you start to understand why this one's important. Because you get stiff, you don't move as much as you used to, and you start to say, oh, my functional movement capacity's gone down. No, my flexibility's gone down. My balance, or so my posture, I'm starting to, right? Oh, everybody sits up straight, and everybody says posture. Okay, so those are things. Health and wellness. Okay, so just your nutrition, hydration. I love to see these water bottles. This is excellent. This is excellent. People have their water bottles. That's very, very good hydration. Okay, sleep. Did you get 8 hours of sleep last night? Okay, and recovery. What did we do for recovery last night? After practice, at the end of practice, what did I make you do? Yeah, we did some foam rolling or ball rolling. We did some light shooting to kind of help us recover. Did everybody have a little water or snack right after practice? Very, very important. If you didn't get a snack right away, it's probably going to impact how well you play today. It'll impact because you need that food right away. Okay. Now, your physical work capacity, stamina, speed, agility, strength, and jumping. I hear Coach Dan and Randy are going to have you do a yo-yo test. What's that testing of those words right there? It's actually your stamina. Excellent. It's your stamina. Right? How long can you run distance running? That's your stamina. And it's also, probably as Coach Dan's saying, very important on the mental side too. Because it comes down to, we look over in the mental one, and I see the one that says handling distractions and deals with adversity. It's going to put you in a situation where you've got to deal with adversity. Your body's starting to say, oh, just stop. Just stop. Come on, you just stop. But you know, no, I want to keep going. You're going to have that mental conversation. And it's those ones who can learn to push them, and that mental toughness can really find out what their true stamina is. Okay? Very, very powerful. Okay? So, that was the physical. The social emotional. We have our daily training environment. So this is, what's your school like? Is your school, can you get in your gym and practice at your school? Or is it locked down and you can never practice on your own? Okay? Your training facility, do you have a gym where you can go and work out? Is your family supportive? They encourage you to do basketball? They encourage you to, they help you with driving you here? I would say most of your family's been pretty supportive if they've gotten you here at this time in the morning. That's pretty good. That's not true for all families. There's some girls who are very unfortunate. There's not a lot of support in their family. Now, having said that, we've had girls on our national team have had very poor family support and still made the national team. So just because one of these pillars isn't working well right now, you can still be very elite. It's just you're going to have to work at it a little more. Okay? And the message I want you to get is, it's not what you're born with, it's what you do with it. No one makes elite teams by being born there with the gifts. You have to earn it. You can control that. You have to earn it. Okay? It's not what you were born with, it's what you work towards getting. Very important. Okay. And then you have relationships, communication, trust. We talked about that. Leadership. You've heard me say using your leadership voice. Okay. Passion. We talked about that. Competitive fire. Okay. And podium behaviors. What would be an example of podium behaviors? Behaviors of people who get to the podium display. Respect, excellent. Okay? Respect for your teammates, respect for the game, respect for the officials. They're responsible, trustworthy, all those good qualities. Very powerful. Good people make good teammates. Jerks don't make good teammates. You know that. You've all played with people who are not good teammates. And it hurts your team. And it hurts your development too. But a lot of times people won't tell them, no, that's not acceptable. And to be a good team, you have to do that. You have to be able, we call it, one of our podium behaviors is we call truth over harmony. And we'll be very honest with people. This is the behavior you're having right now, and that's not acceptable. We're not mad at you. We're not calling you, demeaning you, but you have to understand that behavior is not acceptable. Okay? You also have to know that you can speak truth to power. You have to feel comfortable that you could go to your coach and tell the coach what you're really thinking in a polite way. Does that make sense? Okay, so if something's happening and you don't feel comfortable, you have to be able to go to power, somebody who's an authority, and say, this is how it makes me feel. Okay, and that's a very important part of our podium culture. Okay, mental, we have focus. We talked about that, didn't we? We have perspective. We have imagery. We have energy. And then we have all the basketball stuff. We have fundamental movements. We have all the skills are there. Concepts. Now, if you look under offensive actions, you can see attacking, spacing, pass and cut, and penetration. Did we work on that last night? That was all the main thing we worked on, and then we start to put in rebounding, didn't we? We put in the hot spot. We didn't do anything on posting and screening last night, did we? But those are still legitimate actions. But we really want to focus on those first ones. And today we'll mostly focus. Tomorrow we'll get into a little more on the posting one and some screening tomorrow. Okay? And then defense, you can see that there was transition, matching up, on the ball, off ball defense. Did we not do that? We got guarding the ball, got away from the ball for help. Okay, so you can see that. Now, here's what you're going to do. Take the white sheet, and it says where your name goes, so you can put your name and your partner who's going to work with you, or if you're a group of three, your group of three. It says choose one of the small gears from each pillar. So I'm going to do an example. I'm going to choose under physical, I'm going to choose sleep. No one else can choose sleep now. You can't use sleep. And then it says, describe it and explain why it's important. Well, what I already know about sleep is you should be getting close to 8 hours of sleep a night. And I think I read something where teenage girls probably need more sleep because a lot of them are going through a lot more growth changes. That's just natural. So they may need up to 9 hours. Okay? So it's very important for sleep because it makes me mentally alert and I'm going to be more productive. There is also, I know, there's a study out of Stanford said your field goal percentage could be 8 points better if you get 8 hours of sleep. So that means if I shot 40% with more sleep, I could shoot 48%. That's pretty impressive. So that's what I already know about sleep. So see what you're going to do? You're going to pick one of the pillars and just write down all the stuff you know already about it. So you got to pick one from physical, mental, social, emotional, and basketball. Away you go. Now then, see, I had them over time so I could break it up more. Here I've got to shorten it because I want them to also watch video.
But what would that fall under?
So what would you pick?
We picked recovery.
Good one. Very good one. So which one are you picking, girls?
Nutrition.
Very good. So just put down some notes on what you know about it.
Well, hydration.
Now, if you're not sure of a word, you can ask and I can help you. So what word did you pick? Oh, very good one. So what's something you're going to write about nutrition? Why is it important?
if you don't eat unhealthy stuff, you get bigger.
Okay, you get. That's good. And what's wrong with getting bigger?
Well, you can't run as
Okay.
Keeps your body like healthy.
So what word did you pick?
Hydration.
Okay, so did you pick one for this?
Not yet.
Okay. So once you do the physical, then you can pick the next one. So you're doing it for all 4 areas. So what do you already know about hydration? Why is it important to drink water? Why have you got this here? Because somebody just told you to?
Well, like, I just know that it really helps with, like, performance, like, keeping you kind of long when you're doing a lot of exercise to just, like, keep going.
Okay, so it's going to give you what? More energy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. You sometimes can write if you don't have, what's the negative effect if you don't have water. What happens if people don't drink a lot of water in games? You know what happens to them?
They're more tired.
They're more tired.
Slower.
Lethargic is a word they use. You know what that word means? Slow, listless, sluggish. Last year in the NBA playoffs, in the championship round, Cleveland was playing Golden State. LeBron James wasn't getting enough water. You remember what happened to him? He got cramps.
Right.
He got cramps, right? Because your muscles don't operate as good. How much you got so far, Rizal? Got, what do you got here? Nutrition, and what's this one?
Communication. Keep everyone.
So what did you put for communication?
I guess like when you're on the court and stuff.
So as a point guard, what's going to be important for communication?
The voice, showing what time people are doing.
Yep.
But then also on the bench, like helping the defense.
Yes.
Where it goes.
Okay, so that's good. Put those in there. Dana, do you have the same ones? Yep.
Finding something else to focus on. I think that's good. So
Okay, so you got another one. Now you've done your physical. I'm going to do a mental one.
I did imagery.
Oh, very good.
You can, like, show pictures in your head.
Excellent. So when would you show pictures? What sort of pictures?
Well, maybe, like, thinking of what kind of offense to run.
Very good.
And concentration.
Very good. So once you got Tracy, you got concentration, recovery, and you're doing which one? Communication. Very good. What do you have, girls?
Hydration, self-talking gives energy to group.
Okay. And now you got to pick a basketball one.
So for basketball,
So you've done recovery. What's the next one? Now you got to think of a social emotional one. Recovery, communication, energy giver. Excellent.
it's like positive energy.
yeah.
And making sure
What do you got?
Nutrition.
Nutrition, and then energy, what's that one? Energy breathing. Good.
Like when you want to breathe.
You got leading yourself. How do you lead yourself? Did you show up on time today? Was that leading yourself? Do you have your water bottle? Do you have your clothes ready for practice? Did you have your lunch? Oh, you go home. Okay, so leading yourself would be that you've got everything organized, you show up on time, right? You get to bed on time, have your homework done, so that you can get to go to practice.
Yeah.
That's all leading yourself stuff.
Feeling your feet.
Decision making, individual or team.
Watch your energy.
What's the difference between individual decision making and team decision making?
Individually,
We're thinking basketball. Last night, what would have been an individual decision that you should I have passed or should I have shot? Is that right? Should I have gone left or should I have gone right? A team decision making is more seeing what my teammate does. So I see you driving this, I've got to now, I got to react to my teammate to be ready. Does that make sense? Okay, so you're reacting to your teammates.
No, I have to like, that would be like routine.
So what have you got? You've got preparing yourself. This one's energy giving, concentration, hydration. Very good. What was your basketball one? Almost ready? Yeah. Okay, about another minute, then we're going to go to another part of the assignment. Girls ready? What was your basketball one like? What was your basketball one? Okay. What was your basketball one? Layups.
or no, that's
Now, is everybody ready? You're slow learning. Now, even if you haven't written in all the pieces, make sure you at least have picked out a gear. So if you haven't filled out the basketball one, at least pick out the gear that you're going to look at. So at least you have the 4 things written down. Now we're going to go to application. So you see down at the bottom. So we just worked on your knowledge and understanding. Now we're going to work, can you apply this? We're going to watch about a 2-minute video, I think it is here. I want you to watch the video and see if you can't see visual evidence of one of your little gears. Make a note when it happens, so like you see the time on the clock, just it was at the 32 seconds, or whatever it is. Just make a little note. And then why do you think that's important? And it might be a negative example. It might be a negative example of concentration. Okay? The nutrition, hydration stuff might be tricky, but we'll see how creative you can get. Okay? The other thing I want you to do is see if you don't see some of the things we were working on last night. See if you don't see some of those concepts that we were working on. Okay, so we're going to watch it the first time. We're just going to watch it. Then we'll break it down a little bit. Set the mood. Is that better? Okay. Do we need to watch it again? Okay, we'll watch it again the second time. Just looking for gears. Okay. Did every group find at least one of their gears? Thumbs up. So we'll watch this next time. If you have something, just say stop, and then you're going to explain it. We may not get to everybody, but we'll just get a couple of them. Okay, so just tell me when to stop. Okay. Want me to go back a little bit?
Well, it's actually like right after this.
Okay, so,
Like after when the pass comes out of Kia's hands, it goes out of bounds. She did like, instead of like not congratulate, but like saying like next time and stuff, like no one high-fived her or anything.
so here it was. She went down a backdoor cut, went out of bounds. Okay. Okay, whose voice?
Like, she made a good pass to her teammate that was cutting to the basket because they double teamed her.
Yes.
She made a good pass, they got it overshot.
So this was your basketball one? There, it
Yeah.
was passing?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Did I have another stop on this one?
Yeah.
Same thing on the
The
passing?
defense to open up the teammate.
Yes. Okay, so we only had 3. What happened to all those other ones? Remember truth to power? This is where you get the chance to speak up.
Ours are a lot of, there are a lot of pre-game stuff or like recovery stuff.
Okay, so let's think about, give me one of yours. What was one of the ones you had?
The basketball makeup routine to relax yourself and mentally prepare yourself.
Okay, so let's go deeper. When might have there been a routine here? When was there a time during that little short period of time where a player could have used a routine? Setting up the offense. Specifically, what offense is probably more conducive to routine? What happened on the ball when out of bounds of Kia? An inbounds play. So what might be a routine that you go through on an inbounds play? Who had imagery as one of their... Somebody have imagery? How, see if you can't tie imagery, routine, out of bounds play together.
Person throwing in the ball might like visualize all their options in their head.
Excellent. What might the other players have to do? So if I yell out 32, and 32 is some play we run. Or I yell out Iowa, might be a play. What should that create in your mind? A picture. What might have been my routine before that though? So Kia just kind of missed it. She kind of, what might she want to do in her routine? Okay, inbounds play. That's part of my routine, little self-regulation. Did you see that? You may not know it, but there's a lot of time, and it's the players getting ready to set screens. You may see them just they're kind of getting themselves ready. There's just something they're doing. That's part of their routine. Okay? So sometimes those things happen, but you really have to pay attention. Any others that we had?
There was a play when there was an open layup that was sort of, and she missed.
Yes.
So she could have like self-taught herself because she ran back down the court and did like.
That's right. Did anybody notice any hesitation on her part? There was maybe like a millisecond. In the past, you know what might have happened? She might have fouled the girl. Have you ever done that one? Oh, missed the layup, missed the putback, but then whack. Okay? So you compound it. So that was big progress. Yeah, you missed it. Next play, though. Next play. Any others you saw?
At the end, the girl that got double teamed, she probably could have taken the shot and got fouled, but instead she took leadership and passed it to the open person.
That's right. So think about the last shot Brazil took. Let's go so see if I can't find the last shot Brazil took in this possession here. Now I want you to tell me, is this an open shot or a contested shot? Okay. So what do you think the difference in your shooting percentage? Remember scoring the ball? How big a difference percentage-wise do you think there is between shooting contested versus open shots? Anybody have a rough idea? Is it close? Are they pretty even? No. It's over 10% difference. And in some leagues, it's quite high. In the NBA, they track that, every shot that's taken, and it can be up over like 10 to 15% difference between open and contested shots. Okay? So think that's the last shot that Brazil had, and they were down. We come down, and then we get the home run. We get the wide open layup. All right? So can you see the difference between the shot quality? The quality of your shots, to me, is the most important stat you take. Okay, on your notebook, write down the following words. Find, F-I-N-D, use, and create. Find, use, and create. So the first thing we want to do on offense is find who? Who was I kept yelling about last night? Find the open player that has what? The big advantage. Find the open player. Where is the open player? Find the open player. When does it mostly happen that there's an open player? There's 3 times in the game when open players are more open than any other time. What times in the game?
A switch.
It could be a switch. Penetration. When you force double teams or help, there's usually open players. And that could be off a screen too when there's a bad switch, right? So anytime you force double teams or helps, you might have that open player. There's 2 other times in the game. Transition. Excellent, Debbie. Transition. Because the defense isn't set. Was there an open player score in this one off transition? Brazil got an open score. Kind of an open score. We'll look at it. The third one. We had 2 of these and only converted on 1 of them. Inbounds plays kind of if we force the double team. Offensive rebounds. Offensive rebounds is another time you can usually find open players. Okay? We don't, with our national teams, we don't set up on offensive rebounds. We just try to find open players. Okay, the second word was use. Use your small advantage to do what? To create a bigger advantage. Use your small advantage to create a bigger advantage. We're going to see if we see some of that. And then the third word is create. What is it we have to create? We need an action to create the advantages. So we need a cut. We need a screen. We need some action. When everything gone neutral, remember that word last night, neutral? When the game's gone neutral, we need an action to create an advantage. So we're just going to watch this and see if we can't see some of these things happen. Let's go back. Okay, is there an advantage right now, or is the game neutral, or does the defense have an advantage? Right now, if I'm a coach, I would say that the defense has a slight advantage. Who's guarding Lozano out of bounds? No one. So they now have 5 defenders against 4 of our offensive players. They have an advantage. Does that make sense? And if we don't do something to create an event, we might be in trouble. Has that ever happened to your team? You just not prepare, all of a sudden they get a turnover, 5-second call, because you didn't react to their action. So the defense is doing things too. So right now there's an advantage by the defense, so we have to do an action. We have to create an action, and what do? We set a screen. Okay, so let's run it ahead here. Okay, so right now we're doing an action to do what? To, again, create a... Whoa, do we have an advantage now? Yeah. It's now 5 versus 4. So what's Maya's main job now? Find open players. If she comes down and sets up now, the defense neutralizes. The people without the ball, what's your job? Find space, play in space, right? Find good spacing. So here she goes. She finds an open player. What's her job? What's the first thing she's looking for? Find open players. Was there anybody open? Maybe, maybe not. So now she's going to use any advantage. She's got a girl closing out on her, so she's going to use the advantage. What's she trying to get? The big advantage. She's trying to draw help. Look, 1, 2, look, 3, 4. All 5 people are paying attention to her. There's open people now, isn't there? And now it's her job, because that's a shot blocker. If you watched early in the game, this girl probably blocked about 5 of Kia's shots. I mean, like big time blocks, like fall to the ground and stand over her blocks. So she knows that I'm not shooting this on this girl. But she now has to find the open player. Keeps her dribble, finds the open player. Why didn't she shoot this? What happened on the pass? Was it on target? No. So it's a little off target, and Maya's smart enough to know that I'm not in rhythm. That's not a good shot. Still got time on the shot clock, but I got a closeout. I'm going to use my advantage and create another advantage. Look what Lizanne's doing. What's she doing? Spacing. Look at the spacing. Find the open player. Lizanne felt, no, she's running at me. I can attack the closeout. What are the other players still doing? Look, get the space. Work in space. And now, what's Catherine doing? What's Tamara doing? What's this spot called? Hot spot. Shorter cleanup. Safeties. So you can see how we're in position. There's the shot. It missed. Look at Tamara, get the rebound. Now, she knew she couldn't put it up right away. Are we going to set up? No. What's her job now? Find open players. Find open players. Find open players. This is a pretty good open player, isn't it? Yeah, but as we know, sometimes that happens. Okay? Now, what's Brazil doing? And so what's she trying to do? Find open player. Just a little off target, isn't it? Girl does a good job. Now, did we neutralize them yet? No. They still, look, we still have an advantage. See this girl here? I'm going to do it on this one. See? They still have an advantage. We're still scrambling. Are we matched up yet? No. Are we matched up yet? No. They still find in transition the big advantage right at the rim. Right? So it's not always right away, but they kept moving the ball, finding the open player. Okay. Inbounding balls. Is there an advantage now, or is it neutral? Who has the advantage? I would say it's neutral right now. Right? We have no advantage. But we find open player. Just finding open players. Now it's pretty neutral, isn't it? So now we need an action. There's one action by Lizanne. Attacks the rim. And here's Kia's second action. We've had 2 actions, and we just missed that. Can you see how we were trying to create advantages, but with just cuts? Is that what we practiced last night? There's a good heel pivot right there. Notice how she pivots on her heel for all you people inside. See the little turn on her heel to gather herself so she keeps her balance. Very important. Good screen. That's an action, right? To create an advantage. Still no advantage. Oh, we have a really good screen. The South American teams are really good at trying to fake foul. Remember we talked about fouls drawn? They're very good at trying to, oh, it's a foul. Now, we force now trouble because two people are guarding one. She has to kind of guard two things. She's got to be aware of this roller plus this girl coming out here. We are now in a situation to find open players. And it just happens to be our best three-point shooter. Hot spot, clean up, okay, boom. Now, did you see any plays being run yet? The only plays being run is what? The inbounds play. So basically we're just playing basketball. We're finding advantages. The only time we go to a play is when it's been neutral, and we have to get everybody on the same page. It's mostly just playing advantages, right? And creating those three words. So, this is more of a play. This is a play by Brazil. All these actions. And we're able to neutralize almost every action because we scouted them. Okay, here's transition. Find the open player. Find the open player. Keep finding open players. Kia's going to try to create an advantage. She sees an open player. Catherine sees an open player. And Naya's working in space. That's beautiful basketball. Do you think we ever practiced that? That exact movement? Never. Never once did we ever practice. Okay, we'll do this. Naya will pass up here. Then you cut here. That's just learning to play with each other. And keep playing in space, using your advantages, finding open players. And that's what we're going to be trying to do the rest of the time we're here. Okay, last little thing. With your partner, discuss one thing that you really learned from this session that you can apply this afternoon. What's something that we've done here in the video that you can now use a little bit? Okay, who has something they can share with the group that they learned that they're going to apply?
Using small advantages to make big advantages.
Using small advantages to make big advantages. Build on that, somebody. Build on it, some of the small advantages we might have today.
Like drawing the defense and then pitching out to someone who's open.
Drawing the defense and pitching it out to someone who's open. When else might we have some small advantages? In transition, and keep building on that for me. Paint me a picture. When in transition, what has to happen for it to be that small advantage in transition? What do the people without the ball have to do for there to be an advantage? Run the floor. They have to sprint to get in front of the ball and get wide. Or one person maybe down the middle. Okay? But if no one runs, then there's no advantage, right? It's very easy to neutralize. What else are we going to see today? What else might I see this afternoon? Denise has never seen you play, so she's anxious. So help her what else she might be able to watch for today. She's very keen to see some things. I'm very anxious to see some of these other gears. I'm going to be very anxious to see communication gear. What might I see in the communication gear? Encouraging comments. Excellent. What else might I see?
Using their names and
I want to hear some names being called. What about the game's neutral? And everybody seems to be not doing something. What could somebody do to help their team?
cut.
Cut? That's right, spacing cuts. But I want to hear people helping their teammates by communicating some actions, telling them, helping direct your teammates. Okay? That's a very powerful thing. That also goes under energy giving, right? Under leadership. So I'm looking for some of those other pillars. The leadership pillar, mental pillar, the breathing. I'm going to be watching for that. The communication. Okay? Basketball, we'll be seeing a lot of the cutting, using the advantages. Okay? Coach Dan, anything you've got to add? Any other coaches? Denise, any? No? Okay. Now, you have a very important job between now and when you're on the floor. Looking at your model, what thing is the most important thing you have to do right now? Nutrition and hydration. Okay, so Dan, what's our schedule?
Young ones at 2, older at
4.
go to high school.
Are we done? Or we have to have a cheer? Do we have a cheer when you have to leave a classroom? You have a cheer in your classroom? Okay, we'll see you at 2. Those, and we'll see you at 4. Good job this morning.